What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and this is going to be episode 3 of All Hail the King. Now, just in case you're not familiar with this video series, it is in direct connection with the From the Helicarrier podcast. The first part, or the setup to this video, will be an audio segment on the From the Helicarrier podcast. You can catch the show live on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern on Twitch TV. And you can catch both past and future episodes at the link provided on the screen. And I'll also link the corresponding broadcast in the description below. Now, the setup for this episode is Moonstone plus Captain Britain, and I'm using the brand new Empowered Bruiser armor. I'm using the Vengeful Empowered ISO 8, which gives big and fast to my agent, so he has a chance to gain an extra turn when he's protecting. So I'm using the Blade of the Guardian for a protect weapon. Next, the Enchanted Crowbar is equipped for a counterattack, and also to apply those debuffs to help out Captain Britain. The Enchanted Crowbar really helps out his level 9, and also his Heir to the Otherworld passive ability. And speaking of Captain Britain, we're using the Close Empowered ISO 8, which gives his melee attacks a higher chance to crit. And then on Moonstone, we're using the Quick Empowered ISO 8, and that's going to make her level 6 a quick action. The scroll is there to remove Mystic Shroud, that way Captain Britain and Moonstone can both place their debuffs, and then the cube is just there for support. By the way, this team is named Ground and Pound, and I'll show you exactly why as we get further into the fights. Oh, and I did want to mention that in these practice fights, you're really not sure what quality of opponent you're going to get. I actually chose the highest possible rated opponent, and this is the team that they gave me. But we'll take this one as a warm-up battle. First, we're going to go ahead and use Short Fuse. Then I'm going to use the Enchanted Crowbar to set up a quick Curse of the Otherworld possibility. I just really love the way that this weapon and Captain Britain work so well together. So after our very first attack on Captain America, we have Exposed, Dizzy, and Slowed on him. So we just need to apply Weakened. And yes, we did end up getting lucky by having our agent go first, but the Enchanted Crowbar can also place these debuffs just by counterattacking. What this means is Captain Britain is going to have a field day with the opponents. Like I said, all we need is Weaken, so I'm going to go ahead and use Right as Might, and this should apply it. Not only does it, it finishes Captain America, so then we gain Merlin's Gift, and we're going to get an extra turn. So now we're going to put Weakened on their agent, and we do hit him for some major damage. This damage may be a little bit inflated, but trust me, Captain Britain can hit really hard. Besides Deadpool, he still has my single highest hit, even higher than Havoc. Now this is where the ground part comes in for Team Ground and Pound. By using Gravity Syndrome, we place Exhausted and also Heavy on the opponent. So what this means is now Magneto is grounded. Even though he's a flyer, he can now be targeted by ground attacks. So on Captain Britain's next turn, we can use his ground attack, and it will affect Magneto. It would also affect any other flyer that has heavy. So this, plus the fact that Moonstone does boost melee attacks, made me think Captain Britain and her would be an awesome team-up. Alright, so after hitting Magneto with that crowbar, I'm going to show you which ability I was referring to. Captain Britain's level 6 is called Smashing, and it's a ground attack. That means that it would miss anyone who's flying, but since he's grounded, it still hits Magneto. It's a pretty nice AoE attack that causes slow to the opponents, and also has a good chance to stun them. And with our extra attack, we're going to use Britannic. So there's that heavy hitting ability, and it breaks 200,000 damage. And by the way, there you can see the rating, so I had no idea what type of team I was going to face. I truthfully did just choose the highest rating that they showed me. Now on to the second battle. It's going to be against a World War Hulk, and also an Iron Patriot. So I'm assuming this team can do a ton of damage, and I'm really hoping that Iron Patriot doesn't take anyone out in the first round. Since my agent gets to go first, I'm going to use the Scroll of Angalob, or the Scroll of Uncle Bob, whatever you prefer to call it. I have to admit I like Scroll of Uncle Bob the best. Now that we've removed their Mystic Shroud, I can hit someone with the Enchanted Crowbar. And as long as Captain Britain doesn't die, we should be able to get the Curse of the Otherworld off on his very first attack. All we need to do is use his level 1 and place Weakened and Dizzy on their agent. But let's see exactly what War Machine does. Alright, so he only uses the Plasma Blade, and we do get our very first Big and Fast proc. That means we get an extra turn with our agent, which is extremely useful. At this point I was hoping to hit the Hulk, but he does dodge it because of reality hacking. That was extremely unfortunate. But now we get to use our level 1 on their Scrapper agent. And that will proc Merlin's Gift, Curse of the Otherworld, and now we'll get an extra turn. And if all that wasn't enough, we're also going to be enraged on Captain Britain, so he's going to do some amazing damage. This Britannic has a chance to be huge right now, so let's go ahead and use it on their agent, and he does dodge it, another reality hacking. So that 20% chance is looking a lot higher right now. But doesn't it always, at least for the AI. Because of that miss, their agent's going to get a chance to attack, and they use the Voodoo Staff. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does neutralize our Enraged. Fortunately, we do finish him with the Blade of the Guardian counterattack. And now it's finally Moonstone's turn, so we're going to use her Gravity Syndrome, which increases the damage of melee attacks, and also grounds that flyer. Now right here we should have single target attacked War Machine, that way we could gain tactical maneuvers. But instead I was kind of focused on using Forceful Personality on the Hulk. This of course will immobilize him, and that'll lock out his first two abilities, which are his most devastating ones. Now he's most likely just going to use Thunderclap, which doesn't do that much damage, and truthfully I'm not worried about. Next I'm going to hit Iron Patriot with the Enchanted Crowbar. I don't have to worry about him using full overcharge because he is exhausted, so that'll be the end of his turn. This is just another benefit to using Moonstone. So there he goes, he uses it, but then he also can attack in the same turn. Now that he is heavy, we're going to use our level 6 Smashing, and hopefully we will get to stun both of them. Once again it works like a charm, it does hit both of the characters, even the flyer. And even though we didn't stun War Machine, I'm still going to finish him off with our second attack. I think this is going to call for another level 9 Britannic. So let's go ahead and use that one. And it should do plenty of damage to him. The important thing is to kill him before he gets to use that full overcharge. So there we go, we hit him for 88,000 and an epic overkill. Then with Moonstone we'll just go ahead and use our level 1 once again. And even if it doesn't finish him, it will immobilize him. Well, it did enough damage, and that's going to be the end of the second battle. Now this will be the third and the last fight of the video. We're facing an opponent that has really nice stats, so it should be a good battle. Their agent will get the first attack, and hopefully he doesn't use that axe. Okay, so he goes with the Blackest Void, and we'll just go ahead and scroll that away. We'll also be able to get rid of Shield Guard, so that should help us out as well. For our next move, you probably guessed it, we're going to use the Enchanted Crowbar, but I'm going to target the Hulk. The Grey Hulk has been extremely annoying lately. He's been proccing his passive ability over and over, so the earlier I can take him out of the battle, the better. Unfortunately, Captain America is probably going to use Shield Guard once again. And he does, but the good news is that is kind of a waste of his turn. Now Moonstone will get to use her level 6. There aren't any flyers, but this still comes in quite handy, because of the exhausted, as well as the slowed, and then the boost to melee attacks. Next I'll use her level 2 and cause her to become phased. This will keep her relatively safe, especially from this counterattack, and then future attacks by their team. It looks like her passive is also going to proc on their Grey Hulk, so we put Mind Control on him, and then he hits us with a Thunderclap. That's definitely the move you want him to use against you. Now I have no idea why the AI keeps using it. Then of course Captain America will block us as we use the Right as Might. But he is weakened, so that counterattack shouldn't be that bad. And it's not, it's actually extremely weak. Now, since their agent's going to use the Light Fantastic, we might as well use it on our team as well. First, I'll use Short Fuse, our Empowered Armor's ability, and then the Light Fantastic, so our team's protected basically for this round. I don't see them breaking it and then doing enough damage to harm us. Oh, and Moon Knight mind controls yet another character. She gets it on Captain America. I must say his shield throw did ruin our mirror reality though. So you know what that means. It's time for our Spirit Bomb attack. Everyone lend Moonstone your energy. Now with Captain Britain, I'm going to use Smashing and hopefully gain some stuns. It'll also kind of waste their mirror reality. So it essentially performs two functions for us. And let's see how many stuns we get. So far we just got the Hulk, and that's going to be it, but that's good enough. Ooh, and I do hate that nanite inductive nail gun. But oh well, let's go ahead and see what their agent does. Most likely an improbability field. Alright, I was wrong. He's just going to use the nail gun once again, and he fires it on our phased Moonstone. So nice going, AI. Now we're going to use the improbability field, and hopefully put Strengthened on Moonstone. Then after Captain America's turn, we'll unleash our Spirit Bomb. And it didn't even take 8 episodes to charge up. But these debuffs do take forever to scroll. So we're almost ready for Moonstone. And here goes Captain America with a shield guard. Now it's time for the Big Bang. I'm hoping to finish it, but it may come up a little short, especially on the Hulk and their agent. Alright, so we do kill 2 out of 3. I think that's a pretty nice ending. Since the Hulk is stunned, Captain Britain will finish it with his level 9. And that's going to be it for our 3rd episode of All Hail the King. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I want to ask you to tune into the From the Helicarrier podcast next Tuesday. There I'll have another amazing team, tip, or weapon combination, so make sure you tune in to find out. Lastly, I want to thank you all for watching, and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, good luck, and take care.